Welcome to The Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for The Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Today we have author Josie Blaine, and she'll be here in an all-out App Wars. We need to get Bill Murray to come in and do an App Wars version of his Star Wars. How did he do that?
But App Wars.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Nothing
Yes,
but App Wars.
You should just do that, Jim, someday. That'd be fun. So anyway, we're going to be doing that here on the Tech Ranch. We're also going to be talking about the tech you should include in your winter survival kit. Keeping informed about the Ebola breakout. You and I talked about this a couple weeks ago about maybe somebody will come out with a map about it, and they actually have. So you and I are trendsetters again in that. We're also going to be talking about a cool way to keep track of your valuables, all this, and Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino, will be on the big show today. So, At the control panel, producer extraordinaire, Jim Walsh.
Hello.
So,
Yeah.
First day of winter. It showed up.
Hazy shade of winter.
What a difference the day makes, huh? Mm-hmm. It was actually, I mean, I know we got some flurries and stuff yesterday, but I kind of liked yesterday. I didn't like this morning so much.
It wasn't so bad yesterday. Well, it snowed early in the day.
And melted off.
I got up, I looked out the window, there was snow on the ground, went back to bed, got back up again. It was all gone.
It was all gone, yeah, a little bit here and there.
I went back to bed, got up again, it was back again.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that this round might stay around a little bit. So, yeah, going to be a little chilly.
Little nippy this
Little nippy,
I
that's
don't
right.
think it's getting above freezing this week at all.
I believe that's correct, which is what, 10 to 15 or 20 degrees below normal?
Right.
It's somewhere in that neighborhood, but anyway.
Mild winter, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mild winter.
As long as it doesn't snow a whole lot, I'm okay with the cold.
Yeah, well, the ice, I have a problem with the ice.
I do too, and that was a big issue this morning, so absolutely. But
I
anyway.
fall on the ice, so I better stock up on my ibuprofen, I guess.
There you go, because you're going to be falling a lot.
Yeah.
Is that the deal? Okay. Just, put some spikes on or ice. You should throw a little ice in front of you as you go.
Well, I got my big wintry moon boots on.
That's perfect. Yeah. Like how the kids will throw rose petals at the wedding. Just have somebody throw a little salt in front of you as you're walking along.
Woo!
So that way you never have to fall.
Like you're getting married or something.
Well, anyway, do you put together a winter survival kit for your car?
I do have one of those little thermal blankets that somebody gave me, and I stuck it in the car. It's there if we need it.
Okay.
I've also heard that newspaper is a good insulation if you ever get stuck somewhere and you need to protect yourself from the elements.
If you wanted to put together a good winter survival kit, we're not going to get into all the things that should be in that, but there's actually quite a few websites, including our own state's website. North Dakota actually has a page about what you should include in your winter survival kit.
What about those portable things, those you break them and they heat up with your hands?
Well, it's actually not included in that list. They talk about a can of Sterno, and Sterno can of said. However, if I were going to put together a winter survival kit, I would get one of those, or those hot hands or whatever they are too, so you can put them in your feet or your hands or whatever. Of course, a Sterno can allows you to maybe cook a few things or boil some snow or melt snow for water and that type of thing.
Yeah, I was in one of those polar bear plunge things one year, not here, but on the East Coast.
Yes.
Where, in fact, it was Super Bowl Sunday one year, and they had a bunch of us jump in the ocean for some charity. I don't even remember what the charity was. All I remember is the ocean was really cold.
The water does get a little cold, doesn't it?
A little nippy, yes.
I've done that too many, many moons ago before I had all the insulation I do on my body now. Now I'm a polar bear, so I think I'd probably survive a little better.
There's more of him to love.
Exactly right. So technology-wise, though, I think there's a couple things that a person should have in your winter survival kit for as far as tech goes. And, you think about it, probably the number one thing could arguably be your smartphone.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. First of all, it's got GPS on it. So if people need to find you, if you get stalled in the middle of nowhere, you have that ability. You have the ability to communicate. And even if you can't talk to somebody, texting is of course another viable option when you're stranded someplace. And, if the cell tower isn't working like it should, or usually in weather emergencies, there's just a lot more, the cell phone towers are being used a lot more.
Right.
So you can send texts, and text actually will go through. It's actually a different system. And so you always have that option, even if the cell phone towers aren't working so well for voice. So you have that. So I would have to make the argument that if you go along with me saying that your smartphone or your cell phone is a very, very important thing, that you should be prepared in your winter survival kit in the assumption that maybe your car won't start, so you can't charge it up or whatever. So there's a couple choices that you can have. First of all, there are some battery charger options, where you can put batteries, regular like AA or AAA batteries into this charging option that then plugs into your phone so you can keep your phone charged up.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, how to keep your phone charged.
Yep, because if your car doesn't start. Now, I have one car that when you plug into the cigarette lighter, it still works.
Yeah.
With the key turned off. So you could charge. I do that a lot. I actually charge my phone overnight with my car battery, which probably isn't the best thing in the world to do, but I do that.
Well, if your battery's fine, it should be okay.
Right, exactly. But there are some cars. I have another car, of course, that when you turn the key off, there's no power going to the cigarette lighter. Yeah. So you need to know that, I guess. But I would also make sure that I have a good charger for my cell phone. And, one thing that you can throw in that winter survival kit, you can get these cigarette lighter adapters that have a USB port on them.
Yes.
And then you can plug your USB cord into that, of course, to charge up your smartphone. So I would highly recommend that you have an extra one of those along as well. And you can use that power source for, other things as well. In fact, there are some chargeable flashlights that you can actually use that USB port with as well. So you have all that option as well too.
Well, the Sea Crane Company, those people who make the wind-up radios,
yeah,
they have some of that stuff where you can actually wind it up and it'll charge it up that way. Physically.
They do. And another option is what are called UPSs, uninterruptible power supplies.
Right.
And we use these a lot for computers and that type of thing. However, I'm thinking that you could actually have one of those charged up and carry with you too. So if you had to plug something in with a regular electrical outlet, you could use that as like a battery backup. And I would recommend that for your house as well. If you have like a 30-minute UPS that maybe you just purchased to have as an emergency, you could literally run your microwave with this thing for 3 or 4 minutes if you didn't have any power coming to your house or what have you. So you could certainly charge up your communication devices quite a bit with having a UPS around too. So those are some choices that I think I would make. And yes, and Josie, I'm thinking she's getting her headphones on here, but
My UPS man is really
hot. We did not. We're talking about a totally different UPS here, though.
I'm
Josie,
just saying, I'm ordering stuff all the time.
That's way more information than Jim or I even wanted to know.
Well, I think it's time to break out the hives and hooters and rev up the motor scooters.
Maybe so. So
she's the pride of the neighborhood. That's right.
So anyway, while you're putting your survival kit together, as we're going into our break here, make sure that you have plenty of batteries. Make sure you have stuff to keep that cell phone charged if you ever get stranded somewhere. After the break, everybody, author Josie Blaine is in studio. And we will be having our all-out app war. So come on back.
Okay. Can I go home now?
We're just going to dance. It's the weather. What can you say? Yeah.
Well, I got so wrapped up in conversation with our guest.
We were just...
I know.
I know.
I have that effect on you guys.
We totally forgot what we were doing.
Hey, I brought you brownies today.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I was late. So I thought I better bring those guys a treat.
That was nice of you.
A tasty treat. That's good to eat.
Hey, they are not just brownies. They're Buffalo Gals Mercantile brownies.
Wow.
Circle around from the right.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Shop locally.
Well, anyway, we want to thank everybody who's listening to us across the country and around the world on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Let's see, Tuned In, and of course, Radio Pup. We're all over the place now. So
I'm sorry, you said Blueberry, and I just got
hungry. I know. It's great. It's great that they are part of our program now. So Blueberry Network, you have to check it out. So we were just talking about winterizing your stuff. There's one thing that we forgot to talk about before we get to Josie here. Vodafone has an umbrella that has solar panels built into it. So you open the umbrella up, and it, of course, has these solar panels that come out. So if you're in, and then you charge your phone with it.
Wait, that is that's a Josie thing. I need that.
But you think about it for a winter survival type of deal. If you were out in the middle of nowhere or stranded or whatever, and you needed to charge your phone, this is actually kind of a cool survival type of gear.
And people will probably say, hey, but that would never work in North Dakota because in climates where it's not really sunny a lot of the time. But think about how we still have to wear sunscreen in the winter because those UV rays are getting through the clouds.
And that's what you need to charge your
I believe
phones
in
with.
the solar umbrella.
Don't want to get snowblind.
So anyway, just keep an eye open for that. That'll be available in the near future. So, and to my right, author Josie Blaine. So welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Hey, I have I was looking over your last book, by the way, on Amazon, and I'm trying to find my note about it here, but you are actually on their editors, like their best read of 2014 list.
How do you like that? That's my first one.
That's your first book? That's
Something About Sophia?
Yeah.
Yes, that's historical fiction about my great-great-grandmother who was a pioneer to North Dakota in the 1880s. That big cow out in New Salem is my family legacy.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Mm-hmm. So get you a little closer to the microphone there so people can hear you.
What's her name? The cow.
Salem Sue.
Salem Sue.
That's my cow.
New Salem Sue.
Yes.
Salem Sue. My grandma's been telling me since I was a little bitty baby, that's my cow. And I am the great. I can do anything I want.
So anyway, congratulations on that honor.
Thank you.
That's very cool.
Thanks for noticing that.
So I was just impressed that I seen that, and all the reviews that have been coming in about your book are fabulous. So
thank you. If you have a Kindle, I hope you download it.
Well, I have the actual copy.
I know you do, because you came and bought one. Thank you, Marlo.
I cannot. I'm not a big reader on my smart devices, I guess, but so I have to have the paper thing yet. We were having this discussion the other day. I don't know if it's my generation and older, but we still prefer to have that something on paper.
And I really appreciate that because, you go through all the trouble to write a bunch of words.
Sure.
And to make them make sense and to write them from your heart.
Yeah.
But I do get the ebook phenomena. I mean, the ability to have thousands and thousands of books at your fingertips literally is very cool.
Now listen, Marlo, this is important. In North Dakota, this is important for authors and musicians and other people who make stuff and sell it. When you sell digital products, you don't have to pay sales tax.
That's true.
I've done the work, folks.
Wow.
I talked to the tax office.
That's pretty cool to know that.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's one more.
If you want to download Kindle until you're blue in the face, download a Kindle version of those stories on every device in your family for Christmas. I send you my heart.
Yes, yeah, very cool. So you're in studio today so that we can, Jim, you're standing.
I'm not going to stand for this.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm standing up.
Why?
Well, my chair is making weird noises.
Is that it?
So we're gonna wait till the break, and we're gonna do some chair stuff. I see. Oh, wow.
Hey.
So you're here for App Wars.
Hey, I said don't touch my apps.
I got to get you on track here now.
Keep your hands off my apps.
Yes, I will do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Jim, you do the same as well. So
Jim, stay away from my apps, buddy.
Since we have App Wars going on, you get to start with your most favorite app of all.
Everybody's most favorite app, Marlo.
I'm
in the Facebook.
Oh, not my most favorite app.
No? You like the Instagram?
I don't.
I'm also on Instagram.
Don't do that either.
No?
I know you're going to find that amazing.
I'm artsy.
Yes, you are. So Facebook is by far your number one app. I mean,
or the camera app?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna break these down one at a time here. Okay. So I want to know why is it that you use Facebook as your communication tool to the world?
I'm a communications graduate of the North Dakota State University system.
Okay. So you like to be able to communicate to the world, and you use Facebook to do that. So
yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
Cool.
Okay.
And
you're hitting it on the head
you're a
there.
Droid or an iPhone?
I'm an i5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Do you want to see it? It's pink.
Absolutely. If you got it with you, you gotta
right,
you gotta show off your iPhone here.
But don't be touching my apps.
All right, I'll stay away. I'll stay away from your phone too. So
you really got to cover your apps.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is pink. Look at that. Very cool.
Let's see, Instagram.
So you use Instagram. I guess, part of App Wars, of course, we kind of go back and forth on different things, and I have my list ready to go here as well.
Oh, I didn't make a list.
I know. We have to. Otherwise, I'd forget everything. I need to have my technology. Well, in fact,
it is a phone, so I like the phone app.
You actually make phone calls with your phone?
Sometimes.
Did you know?
How very pre-McLuhanite of you.
Did you know that this is crazy? But you know what the percentage of actual phone calls? I mean, the number of uses. What the percentages that people actually use their phone to make a phone call now?
What?
Under 8%.
What's wrong with that?
Texting is 30%. So almost 4 times as more texts go out now than phone calls on your phone, which I think is absolutely amazing. So,
my message.
Well,
my message app has been going crazy today.
Well, my most favorite app is Evernote. Do you use Evernote?
What is that?
It's actually what I'm using right now. I keep track of my entire life in Evernote.
Oh, whatever happens if that app dissipates?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I could say the same thing about Facebook to you.
Well, but then I still have calendars at home. I still have these people in my life.
Sure. And you can back up Evernote. Evernote is kind of a way where you can keep track of all the different things that are going on in your life.
Okay.
If you want to make notes of different things and then be able to search them out later on. I put my whole show on here, but I could go back 3 years on here and look at the shows that I did back then.
All right.
So
however, I maintain, Marlo, that I have a Mac and I sync this baby to it every night.
Sure.
All right.
Which is cool.
So all of my friends, addresses, pictures, appointments, everything's going to still
and
in one place.
And Evernote does the same thing as well.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's handy.
So it's not just on the cloud. If you want, I have the Evernote app or whatever on my computer, and it syncs there as well. Yes, you have your hand up.
I have a question.
Yes.
My name is Josie, and I have a confession to make.
People are never going to believe this is the Tech Ranch today. But yes, what is your confession?
I don't understand the cloud.
No. Jim, do you understand the cloud?
I do, but I can't explain it. The bane of my existence. I understand stuff, but I can't explain it to other people.
Well, this is actually a very interesting
Marlo.
question. Have you had other people ask you this too? What's the cloud?
What's the cloud? Well, the cloud is a place where all of our stuff gets together and hangs out until we enter our password in somewhere, and then it comes back to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that pretty good?
The cloud is
that's
it's pretty good.
How are my technology skills, Jim?
Woo!
Right?
So, yes, that's exactly what it is. It's basically a bank of hard drives someplace that are storing all your
It's a
information.
place for all your stuff.
That's right. Holds
Your
all your
digital
stuff there.
stuff.
Yep. Including
Rack space.
the apps that you use. So,
It's like a repository.
it is.
Repository.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Not
of
a
course
suppository.
And of course, some people might argue
digital
that's exactly what it
suppository,
is. Yeah. But of course, the cloud grows by leaps and bounds, literally every day.
Yeah.
Because there's more and more storage being put up there all the time. So what's your next app?
My next app?
Yes.
I still have Yahoo Messenger
Okay.
on my phone.
Okay.
Because I still have some friends who are back there in the Yahoo Messenger.
So you actually still use Yahoo Messenger and
Very sparingly.
Okay. Cool. I
have
just
a
use regular
complaint.
on Messenger.
No, on you guys.
Oh.
You're not on my map app, which is why I was 6 minutes late to this here little gathering of the minds.
The map app.
What
The
map
map
app
app.
do you use?
The iPhone map app.
Okay. So is that the Google version or is that the iPhone version that you have now?
The iPhone version.
Okay. Because there was a while there that a lot of people were using the Google version on iPhone simply because the iPhone version was not working well.
Is that what the problem is?
But they did get it fixed eventually, yes. So, all right, everybody. This really is the Tech Ranch, and we will be back after the
We're
break.
techie.
We are kind of being
techie.
techie, yes, with our version of App Wars, so come on back.
Right now, 18.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And Josie Blaine and I will be getting back to App Wars in a second, but I do have a couple things I was kind of picking out over the weekend that I thought we should talk about a little bit. Jim and I were talking about the old Ebola outbreak a couple weeks ago and talking about
Good
how
heavens. Wash your hands and say your prayers, because germs and Jesus are everywhere.
That's right. But there's actually a website called EbolaOutbreakMap.com. So EbolaOutbreakMap.com, and they're actually tracking across the country the different areas where there have been, reported cases and keeping up with the news. So if you're concerned about the possibility of an Ebola outbreak in our country, or just want to know more about what's going on, you can go to EbolaOutbreakMap.com, and I'll post a link to that on thetechranch.com. So go check that out.
Do we have it here?
We don't have it here yet.
Wash your hands.
Yes, that's all you have to do.
Have you been sleeping with dead people?
No.
That have Ebola?
No.
Okay, wash your hands.
Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Still,
Yes.
I think you'll be fine.
Okay. And then my notes just start refreshing here. Let's see. The Rocket Tag. I think Jim and you and I talk a lot about this too, about how you keep track of stuff.
Yeah.
This is actually pretty cool. It's called Rocket Tag. You can go to rockettag.com. And it's basically keychains, stickers, whatever, that have a QR code on them.
Oh, for your Scan Life.
Yes.
I have Scan Life.
Yes. So then you get these stickers or these key rings or what have you. You attach them to your luggage. You attach them to your smartphone. You attach them wherever. Oh. You scan the QR code and you register your device there. And then if you ever lose your device, people who pick it up, they can scan the QR code, and it gives them the contact information about how they can get that stuff back to you. It's actually pretty cool.
That does sound like a good idea, but how could that ever go wrong?
She's thinking hard now. So anyway, so you can use Rocket Tag, and you can just go to rockettag.com, find out the information about it. And yes. So I would highly recommend that you go check that out. Very, very inexpensive way to keep track of your stuff. And my website pick of the week is Gobo, and it is actually gobospot.com, GOBOSPOT.com, gobospot.com. Gobo, GOBOSPOT.com. And I always just kind of give a throw out to somebody on the internet or whatever, and I think they have a very cool website. They, if you're looking for some cool holiday gift ideas or whatever, go to GoboSpot. They have gift cards, pet furniture. I thought it was kind of cool. Smartphones, jewelry boxes. They kind of have an assortment of a lot of different things.
Dogs,
I don't. No.
Are you going to get some little dogs
No.
to sleep on your little couches?
No, not going to do that.
Oh, we have cats, and they have all kinds of furniture.
Yes, they do. Yeah. What kind of cat furniture do you have?
We have a couple of the tree things.
Okay.
Multi-level, one for each cat.
And they have those little things they duck into as well, right?
Nook and crannies,
Yeah.
which are too big to get into.
But, okay.
They can get up on top of the trees.
Yeah, very cool.
I just learned a lot about Jim.
Yeah, he loves cats, but he's allergic to them.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And they're both rescue cats. We found both of them on the street.
Oh.
They're great.
Yep.
Well, my wife actually found both of them on the street.
So very cool. All right. So those are my couple things that I had to throw out there. So getting back to our app wars now. So the idea behind this is that you have to outdo me with the apps that you have. Yes. So you got to bring the game up a little bit now. All right. Here we go.
Best app for this time of year.
Okay.
ND Roads.
What is ND Roads?
ND Roads tells us what roads are passable, what roads are open, what roads are closed.
Really?
What roads are slippy, what roads
so does it give you like updates?
Yeah, it's run by the highway department.
Okay.
Near me, closures, incidents.
So at any time, if there's some type of incident going on, yeah. So it's showing all the snow-covered roads right now.
Right.
Very cool.
Shows you what's closed. It's a great app for your college kid, actually.
There you go.
It's going to save lives,
yes,
this app.
Absolutely. So, ND Roads, the app.
Warnings, weather.
That's pretty cool. I do not have that on my phone. So there you go. Actually, I'm going to write that one down because I need to get that. So
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's safe.
Yes.
You following me on Twitter, Marlo?
I'm not sure if I do or not.
What the world, anyhow?
I'm guessing I probably do.
Well.
But all right, ND Roads. So go get that. That's the app for your iPhone. I'm guessing it's available for Droid as well.
I would hope.
Yeah, not all the time, but I'm guessing in this instance it probably is. So, so go check that out, especially with the road conditions as they are today.
For sure. Today,
Yes,
it's
yes.
so slippy.
So
and
go
you
get
know
it.
that I have that thing about crossing the bridge
Yes.
because I'm pretty sure that in a former life I died on the Titanic.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm very fearful of crossing the bridge
Yes,
into
so-
Mandan in the winter.
So you want to make sure that the bridge is in very good driving
Right,
condition before you leave. So
And
okay.
I've got to shout out to the road crews. They take good care of us.
Oh yeah, they do
Yeah.
a very good job out there. Absolutely. So
An app that I just downloaded
Yes.
the other day, MyFitnessPal.
okay.
Because a friend of mine lost 50 pounds just watching what she eats, and I wasn't really watching what I was eating.
So how does MyFitnessPal work?
Well, you log your exercise and you log your meals, and you just pay attention.
Okay.
How many of us really pay attention to everything we're putting
Probably not a whole lot. Yeah.
No. Well, it turns out that at the end of every day, I have like 500 calories left over.
Nice. So there you go. So you're actually on the other side of the calorie
Right.
intake side.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's good.
Yeah.
So
I should probably eat more.
yes. So you have my Fitness Pal, and that's the app, and does it make recommendations to you as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And it tells you, hey, if you keep eating like this is what you're going to weigh in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And now Jim Walsh is following me.
Very good on MyFitnessPal, so we can follow
Twitter,
each other.
that
No,
is.
he's following
Oh, on
me
Twitter.
on Twitter.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I knew he was following. I could kind of feel somebody following me around in real life, but now he's following me on Twitter.
Dun-dun.
So what is your
Dun-dun,
Twitter hashtag?
dun-dun.
Josie Blaine.
All right, so at Josie Blaine. So anybody else who wants to follow the author Josie Blaine, find out what she's actually has some big announcements coming up pretty soon that you can't share them today, but you could find out about on Twitter, of course.
Right.
So what else you got on that fancy pink iPhone of yours?
My fancy pink iPhone.
I'm looking over my apps here too. So yes,
I've got Glimpse.
okay. So tell
Makes
us.
my mother feel better.
Yes, tell us about Glimpse. That's actually on my list as well.
Okay, if you have someone like Jim Walsh following you around.
Okay.
I'm kidding, Jim. Okay, don't give me the face. The grumpy cat face, you can stop that. Yeah.
They just got worse.
All right, I know. All right, Glimpse. If you want to go to the store, or say you pick up a hitchhiker because you feel bad, which you should never, ever, ever do.
No.
Okay? You can send your spouse or your mother a 20-minute glimpse so they can follow your path
Okay.
on their phone,
Okay.
and they can see where your phone is going.
And they don't actually even have to be a user of Glimpse to see this, correct?
No, it's
Okay.
going to come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So, and Glimpse is free.
Yeah.
And actually is a relatively newcomer to the app world, so you can go check it out. GLYMPSE Glimpse.
Right.
Endless check-in, check-out location-based app concept, no end by coming with one. I'm reading right here. Key trick: the ability to share your location with anybody.
We watched my brother fishing one night
Oh,
on
cool.
the Missouri.
Cool.
Because when we were kids, we were told, don't go on the river because somebody's grandpa had died in one of the whirlpools on
Okay.
the Missouri.
Sure.
When we were really little in Washburn. And my brother took the boat out one night and sent me a 2-hour glimpse. So that made my mom feel a lot better,
Oh.
right?
So do you actually tell it how long you want it to
Yes.
follow you? So if
set
it's
the
2
time.
hours or
yeah, it's
all
not a
night or whatever.
stalker app.
Gotcha.
Okay, it's a
And is it just strictly to the person you're sending it to, or can it be
Yes.
to the world as well?
No,
Okay.
No.
Okay.
That would be bad.
Well, I'm just asking if
Yeah,
you can
no,
do some
it's
public
to let
stuff
your
too.
loved ones know where you are.
Okay. Okay. Glimpse. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right. Anything else on your list?
I've got Pinterest,
Okay.
which is always good.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about Pinterest. What do you use it for?
I believe that there are 3 stages of Pinterest.
Okay.
The first stage is when you first become involved with Pinterest and you can't tear yourself away.
Jim, are you a Pinterest person?
Not really.
Okay.
Never gotten into it.
Okay.
Stage 2 is when you finally Maybe take yourself away from the screen to go to Hobby Lobby and buy stuff to make the stuff that you've seen on Pinterest. Okay?
Okay.
This brings us to stage 3 of Pinterest,
Okay.
where you have overcome your Pinterest addiction and you're living a normal life again. But you think one day, gosh, I wonder if Pinterest would have a recipe for this pumpkin spice thing I'd like to make. And you're able to go on to Pinterest, find the recipe, and then leave it again.
So the 3 stages of Pinterest.
That's my personal experience.
Well, I don't think Jim or I have actually got to the first stage yet, so
No.
so we have something to look forward to here, is what you're saying.
You certainly do. For a while, Pinterest was telling me what to wear, what color to paint my room.
Wow.
You know, Pinterest told me, you know, how to decorate my home,
Yeah.
what kind of workouts I should be doing.
I think for a while there, Pinterest was the fastest growing website in the world.
As it should be.
You know, it grew by leaps and bounds. I'm not sure what the growth rate is right now, but anyway. All right, everybody, after the break, Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino, will be joining in on the conversation, so come on back.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And Jim, we're conversing so much in the studio, we almost forgot to come back to the air again. So,
I need air. Okay.
Yes. So, in studio guest Josie Blaine, author Josie Blaine, and on the phone, of course, Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino. Kate, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Marlo?
Doing
Hey,
fine
Kate.
as well. So that was
Awesome.
Josie. You know, she's going to probably interject occasionally, so just be prepared for Josie here. So just warning you. So
Hello, Josie.
Hi, Kate. That's what they call it.
yes. So anyway, we're just wrapping up our app wars here. You were going to come on and share with us maybe an app or two that you use, as well as talking a little bit about a new social media site. So let's get right into it. You're an iPhone user as well, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right. So what is the app that you want to share with us today?
Okay, so I have a couple apps that I'm really big about right now, and especially, you know, for us ladies, we like to use our different apps to help our photos look better. And I have a couple interesting apps for you guys to try to make yourselves look slimmer or to get rid of blemishes.
Tell me
and
about it.
So here's a couple that I could recommend here.
Okay.
One is called Perfect 365, and this is an app that lets you airbrush your selfies, so you can make your skin look a little bit more flawless, get rid of lines, and things like that.
Can you add more hair?
And yeah, and you can also add
There you go, Marlo.
All right. I'm good now.
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Yes, Skinny Pics.
Okay.
Skinny Pics is SKINNEEPIX, and that helps you it actually makes you look slimmer.
Yeah,
So
I need that.
You could take away like 10 pounds just through a picture, which is pretty crazy.
Usually it adds 10 or 15 pounds to every time I see a photo.
Definitely, that's
I'm
what they
just-
say. So I guess
That's
it
what they
helps
say, it's like
counteract
television.
the
Television ads.
camera
Yeah,
effect there.
So
Yeah.
Skinny
And,
Pics is just
It
the-
just evens the playing field in, right? Brings it back
Right.
to how you think you're supposed to be looking, right?
exactly.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing now that a lot of these, especially younger people, you know, they really start airbrushing their photos to make themselves look a little bit more different than they do in reality. And I think that's a big problem too with internet dating now. It's, you know, how many people are touching up their photos, and what if you make yourself look virtually slimmer than you really are? And
Or just use an
find
old
someone in
photo.
real life?
Yeah. That's Jim's old take.
My
Use an
wife
old
is
photo.
still in my case about that. Yahoo Personals.
Then
Really?
how does blind dating work if somebody comes into the restaurant looking for this picture and they can't find
Right.
that person?
Right. Yep.
Well,
Well,
looking around, well, there's a skinny guy with no hair, you know, or a fat guy with no hair, but the guy in the picture is skinny and has a head full of hair. Okay.
funny.
And none of it's great.
Definitely, yes.
That's
and,
valuable.
Oh, and also another thing that's huge now that is more in the tech world is augmented reality apps. Have you tried any of them?
Haven't
lately or
tried.
yet?
I've tried a few, but why don't you talk a little bit about what you've used?
All right, so augmented reality apps are basically apps that allow you to use your environment, whether you're gaming or you want to show something or try something on virtually in the virtual world. It's basically blending the virtual world with your real world, just using your camera on your phone. So a couple apps are really cool. If you have kids, you should try one called Pop and Lock Robot. I tried this with a couple of kids. We were shooting a short film for my web series called Awesome Future, and we had a young kid actor come on and help us talk about the future and his dreams. And between takes, I showed him this augmented reality app called Pop and Lock Robot, and it's basically a dancing robot. And when you use the app, it uses your camera on your phone to show, like, it creates like a virtual robot in the room with you who's like dancing. And kids love it. They really do. So augmented reality apps are really great for kids and younger people. They're really fun doing games and things like that. And also, ladies, if you want to try this really cool app, it's called Metaverse Makeovers. I didn't make it. I didn't make the app, but it's called Metaverse Makeovers.
You're all over that.
You should take over the credit for that, Kate, I think.
Seriously, I actually spoke with them on Twitter before their app released, and I said, I'm like, come on, like, shouldn't I get the app first? This Metaverse, come on.
Exactly right. So what does it do?
All right, so the app itself is actually called Metaverse Nails, and it's an augmented reality app that allows you to try on different nail colors and shapes and designs in a virtual setting.
Very cool. So does it take a photo of your hand, for example, and then you can just change your fingernails?
Yeah, you could take a photo, or you could. That's if you want to just take a photo and put it online. But it's actually in real time. So just as you would look through your camera, if you're going to go take a picture, you're actually seeing your real hand with these nails on in real time moving.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I was playing with one not too long ago. I forget the name of the app, but you can actually portray historical figures. So as you're looking through the camera at yourself, if you wanted to be Custer, for example, it actually puts the clothes on, so you would look like, or Benjamin Franklin or whatever. It actually kind of makes you look like those historical figures, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is cool. I like that. That's cool for like a history class.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Educational.
So imagine the things that are coming out. It's just crazy to keep up with this stuff. So
Yeah.
all right. And I'm going to guess that you're going to post about some of these, or am I going to be posting about those on the Tech Ranch, the ones you just mentioned?
Yes, after we get off the phone, somewhere between the next 2 hours, I'll be putting a post up on my site, which is futuristmm.com. And you can check out all these apps that I'm talking about, and I'll add a couple extras for you.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. And then you also had a new social network you wanted to talk about.
Yes. So I don't know if many of you have been paying attention to this lately. It's kind of been under the radar for some people, but there's a new social networking website called Ello, ELLO, and it's like hello, but without the H. And Ello is an invite-only social media network website, and it's kind of been frustrating some people because some people, if you put in a request for an invite, for instance, I requested an invitation to the website 2 months ago, and I still haven't received an invite until I actually reached out to a couple, I have a bunch of friends who obviously have like the first invite, so
They were
I was
the
able to get
in-crowd?
in, but it's just not quite there yet. I actually blogged about it on my site, futuristmm.com/blog. You can see my post there, and it's an interesting new website. I think a lot of the features are appealing because it's basically trying to get people to realize that privacy and data are an issue, and Ello aims to be more of an underground social media network website where people can have their data not be sold to third parties.
And it's LO.co. I actually went and looked at LO.com, and that's a nutritional supplement. So,
right.
yes.
It is LO.co. I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
so make sure you go to .co instead of .com for that. But it's an interesting look to the website as well. What I'm looking at right now is a bunch of circles with photos in them, simply because I can't get past the login here either. So that's what you see. You and I are going to have to try to work on getting a membership here, I think.
Marlo, I'm going to send you an invite.
Okay.
Right after we
Oh
finish
my
here.
gosh.
And
Oh my goodness.
if anyone else wants an invite, you can tweet me, and I'll send you an invite.
Nice.
I've been doing that for some people. They've been tweeting to me, and
Okay.
I send them invites to the new networking website, which is pretty cool.
Hey, Kate, then do you have to be careful about who you invite? Because, you don't just want anybody in your circle.
No,
Yes,
I'm sure she's
especially
looking at the
Marlo.
two of us over here too, there, Kate. So you know how this is going in here today. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, for those who haven't yet seen lo.co, the website is very minimalistic in design, and I'm interested to see how people are going to be taking to this website. It has a very artsy kind of minimalist feel to it. There's not really much to look at. It's basically just everything's gray, black, and white.
Okay. So how fast is the site growing? Do you have any idea?
It was expected to grow a lot faster than it actually is. And I think while they're saying that it's growing so fast, they can hardly keep up, which is why people are saying they're not getting their invites 2 months later. I've seen between at least my own personal circle of friends, I've had a lot of friends sign up, and nothing happens afterwards. It seems that people just don't seem like they want to post mostly there. People are still posting mostly on Facebook or Twitter.
Okay.
And yeah, it's and another thing too. Chris Hardwick from the Nerdist, right? It was funny because he was in the news and he was making a big thing about wanting to get an invite and all this. And no, what he wanted was the Nerdist as his handle, and apparently someone else already had taken it. So finally, he ended up getting the Nerdist as his handle, and then as soon as he got on, he only ever made one post. So you make a big deal about getting your own personal handle, and then you sign on, and then you only make one post. So I guess people just really, I don't know, it's going to have to catch on a little bit more, I think, before people really start leaving Facebook and other networking websites.
I think one of the issues is that I don't know how many different types of social networks people can be on, and that's kind of the challenge here. So if people are not using Facebook, I would think that you'd have a better chance of reaching those people first to come on to another social media platform. However, since the whole world uses Facebook, it's tough to find those people, I think. So that's the challenge, I think.
Well, there are people who have been burned out on Facebook.
They
just want to get away from it for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I would actually fit into one of those. I really am kind of tired of Facebook. I feel like it's just kind of overtaken a lot of different things. But that's just my own. But I know, Josie here, you love Facebook.
I communicate with a lot of people.
Yep.
But I do have friends who have left Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is nice is they call me, and we spend time face
Sure,
to face.
Sure. I think you're starting to get that kind of anti-social media thing starting to happen. I mean, people are actually kind of starting to get tired of no face-to-face contact.
Right.
And
hey, let's spend some time together.
Yeah. But on the positive side, I mean, I talk to people on Facebook that I haven't talked to in years, and it's only because of Facebook
That's true. Yeah.
that you communicate with them. So you got to love that about it. So anyway, Kate, really appreciate you being on the show again today. Have a great week.
Yes, thank you.
And I guess you and I need to start working on our CES agenda as well. So we'll be looking forward to having me call you here shortly. So, Josie, pleasure as always. Thanks for being on the show.
It's always a pleasure to hang
Taking
out with
over
you
the
two.
show again.
I didn't do anything wrong.
And now I'm going to have
Now you're going to have a Buffalo Gals Mercantile
All
brownie.
right. Goodbye, everybody.
ABC News, Super Talk 1270. Accurate news, stimulating talk. This is KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck.